I might have to do that again. I introduce Michael Graffin, who is running the session tonight for the Global Classroom 2013-14 Stories and Launch webinars. It's such a great chance to have such a global audience here. I've met some of you face to face, and others I've only met through Twitter. But Michael over here is the big coffee cup steaming away there in Western Australia. So over to you, Michael, to run the session.
Thanks, Sue. It's hard to believe that we're here for our third year in a row, launching Global Classroom 2013-14. And each year our international audience seems to grow, which is absolutely fantastic. What I'd like people to do is, if you can just introduce yourselves in the chat with your Twitter IDs and what time it is for you. I know it's 7:03 p.m. here in Perth, Western Australia, where my little famous coffee cup is situated. And I know some people it's well, actually, probably all of us are on the same day for a change instead of me being here tomorrow. Some of you have got up exceptionally early, and for that I really do thank you. Elaine will put a smiley on the map afterwards. Hopefully the slides will download for you. Okay, so this is the start of Global Classroom 2013-14. It's an opportunity for our teachers to share their stories, their projects and their reflections. Some of the people in this room have been with us for years, others are relative newcomers, and some of the people have come visiting. And it's absolutely been an amazing journey over the last couple of years to watch and learn and just to explore new ways to break down our classroom walls. We'd like to thank our sponsors and supporters for the Global Education Conference. I'm proud to be part of IEARN, the International Education and Resource Network, and I look forward to exploring some of the opportunities with that organisation over the coming years. Today we're basically exploring where we're coming from. We're hoping to introduce you to some of our project partners. We may have to put that at the end of the session because the two people we invited haven't managed to come in yet. And we're going to be launching our 2013-14 projects. A number of people have joined the session today to come and actually launch them in person, which is fantastic. Hi, Tatiana. For the people coming in, the slides may take a little while to load. We couldn't reduce the size any further, I'm sorry. At the top of your participant list, you see 4 little buttons, and you should see the 4th button on the right. The 4th button, or the one on the right, is our poll. So if you can select A, B, C, or D, and learn a little bit about you coming into the session. Okay, so we've got a few people who found it. For those people still looking, I'm just going to, it should be somewhere to your left from the little pointer. Okay. Now. Okay, it's trying to move that. Okay, so it's always interesting when we do this. Welcome to the people who've come here to learn about what we do. We're really happy to explore and share because we've all got stories to share, and it's great to see so many people who've come in to share their Global Classroom stories and projects with us today. Okay. Global Classroom is a philosophy. It's about learning with the world, recognizing that effective learning opportunities and often surprising learning opportunities come when we actually connect beyond our classroom walls. It might be we're connecting with experts, we might be connecting with a teacher in another country or even another class. It takes time to develop these connections. It takes time to find people you can work with and to explore the possibilities. But what Global Classroom was set up to do all of those years ago was to help people to make those connections and to explore the possibilities. We're a community of innovators, a community of risk takers. And I like to believe that we're a community of people who like to think outside the box, who bend the rules to the benefit of our learning, the learning of our students. And that's something that we should be proud of. We've created something special, and that's why I'm so proud to be here today and help just to explore some of the stories and the learning experiences that we've created over the past years and indeed for the year ahead. We believe in the principle that going global is a journey you don't have to walk alone. We're a community. We provide the online spaces. We're on Twitter, Google+, we have an email list and the wiki and the blog. And we basically provide people with a ready-made community and a selection of projects, ranging from very beginner-level global projects through to more collaborative, in-depth, ongoing projects. So people can come in the community and over a course of several years develop their skills and their expertise. And indeed that's what's happened. We've had people who came to us several years ago. One lady came to us and didn't know how to blog and is now blogging regularly with her students, Skyping around the world, and it took her a year and a half to develop the skills and the confidence, but the absolute amazing learning that takes place in her classroom that has come about as a result of her participation in our community has been quite extraordinary. We're about the conversations. It's been interesting. We just recently celebrated 2 years of the Global Classroom Chats, which was one way that we help teachers engage in global conversations about learning, about collaboration, and about learning with the world. And we are dedicated and hope to continue these conversations over the years to come. When we started in March 2011, we had 6 teachers from 5 countries participating in Global Classroom. Last year we had about 300, so that was 2012-13. This year we've got over, I think we're approaching 480 teachers from 42 countries. And I've been absolutely blown away by the number of Global Classroom projects that we are launching for 2012-13. When I made the slide we had 17, and the last couple of days we've picked up another 3, maybe 4. One of the things that we are working towards with Global Classrooms to build partnerships with other institutions and charities to help teachers and students around the world. Some of these partnerships have been very much informal, like Hello Little World Skypers and Global Virtual Classroom. But the benefits that we've had from collaborating with these organisations has been absolutely immense. And in the years to come, we're very much hoping to work with the Open World Cause to support Govinda's school in Nepal, Hi Govinda. And this year we're also looking into supporting Project Purus, which is an American student-run charity, student-led charity, bringing clean water to schools in developing nations. And we're also exploring ways to work with the International Teacher Development Institute to assist our teachers in building their skills and professional learning in the teaching of English as a foreign language. So 2013-14 is looking to be quite an exciting year, and still don't know where it's going to take us, but we're quite happy to go along for the ride. So the whole reason for this webinar is basically comes down to this. This is the opportunity for our teachers and our community to launch Global Classroom 2013-14 and the 20-something projects that have been created for this year's project. Global Classroom basically acts as an incubator for teachers who wish to create their own projects and explore how to connect and collaborate globally. We don't run the projects. Teachers take full responsibility for the projects that they create, and we assist them with the publicity and promotional side. And indeed, some of the projects that have been created, like the Travelling Rhinos project, Global Classroom Scrapbooks, have actually gone on to become something completely beyond their expectations. And I know the Global Classroom Scrapbooks now exist as an iEarn project, which I'm slowly developing this year. Okay. What we're going to do over the following slides is we're going to, if people are in the room, they'll have the opportunity to talk about their projects. Those people who aren't here, we'll talk about them on our behalf. Just a reminder, details of all these projects are on the wiki, which Sue's just put into the chat. The links on the slides that won't necessarily work. Okay, now I don't think Denise is coming for this one. Well, hang on, this is Heidi's, isn't it? Heidi, you're here. I'm going to drop the mic.
Yes, I'm here. Hi, good morning, everyone. For me, it's good morning. I have to be at work in about less than an hour. This is the one and only Ivan Global PBL that we're attempting. Students will read the one and only Ivan, and then answer the driving question, do we have the right to capture and cage animals? We are already underway with our project, but it's going to, yeah, it is a really great book. It's going to be up there probably until, I think, the end of March. So we're creating a collaborative book together. Is there any way we can go to the, is there a next slide, Michael? Oh, great, thank you, that helps me. So we're working to create a collaborative book, and I'm going to, actually my students are working on their book today. It's an iBook, so we're using Book Creator. So anybody, you don't have to have that though. Teachers can just submit, email me work as long as it's a JPEG, and hopefully they'll cite their sources. And then I will add it into one giant iBook. And then we are going to decide as a group what organization we would like to, we're going to sell the book and then donate any proceeds to a wildlife organization that everybody chooses together. So we need to come to consensus as a group at some point to do that. So we're really excited. We have about, I think, 7 or 8 classes so far. No, there's no specific age group. We just need to answer the driving question. And my students, we interviewed a zookeeper from the San Diego Zoo. We have somebody we interviewed from the Baltimore National Aquarium. It's a very difficult question. I was able to get permission for my students to see this blackfish, which was pretty controversial. I had to fast forward through some parts of that. We also saw, I have a DVD that I'm willing to share about Ivan himself. So it's a great project, and we would love to have anybody join. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask.
Thanks, Heidi. We're really looking forward to seeing how this project develops over the coming months, because I know the project you did last year had some truly extraordinary outcomes. And it was an absolute pleasure to come along to your Global Ed session the other day and learn about the Malala project. And if Louise was to drop a link into chat for people who haven't seen that, that would be fantastic. Okay, our next project is one of the ones that as a geek makes me extremely excited and very jealous. This is a project run by Maggie Powers from the United States. She unfortunately couldn't be with us at this session. And this is a project where pre-kindergarten to grade 2 students in, I think it's in Philadelphia, will use Google Glass to share a little people's perspective on the world. Classes around the world can sign up to request an experience or a location, and then the kids record that as a Google Hangout and share it. Unfortunately, they won't share the Google Glass. I wasn't too happy about that. Okay. This is a very exciting project from a lady in New Zealand. Our first game-based learning global classroom project, exploring the use of Minecraft for urban planning and sort of a life forms project. The details for this are on the wiki, and there's also an amazing project on ancient Greece, which is also running, where students can create ancient Greek structures in Minecraft and then share them with a global audience. Okay, Louise, this one's for you.
Sorry, I was finding links. The Passion Project is something that some people from the Hello Little World Skypers and the Global Virtual Classroom cooked up together, and it's really just more of an invitation for you to participate in some events throughout the school year to help your students ignite their passion and find what they're passionate about. And so if you visit the wiki page, it will give suggestions, and my class has participated in these. We started with Dot Day, then International Peace Day, and then we've been doing a lot of different activities throughout the fall and autumn season, and then as we go into the holiday season, we'll be learning about different cultures and how they, experience those as well. So, and then during all of this, we use different tools and connect differently with different classrooms. And so, again, it's just kind of a suggestion or way for you to get your students passionate and get them thinking on their own and building empathy and those kinds of things. If you visit the wiki page, you will also find that you can submit whatever you're doing to Janet Barnstable, who is kind of spearheading this project, and she will post all of our, artifacts from what we're doing on a page so that everybody can kind of see what we're all doing. So that's basically an overview of that. I'll just put the link right here for the page so you can take a look at it. Any questions about that one? Okay, back to you, Michael.
We've actually got a couple if you want to have a talk. You've got a mystery Skype one as well coming up next, so I'm happy for you to talk about these ones.
Okay, so the GeoGuessr challenge, again, hello Little World Skypers, there's a constant instant message running around the world 24/7. And so a while back, this GeoGuessr challenge game came up, and we kind of latched onto it, and we started playing it and competing against each other to see who could earn the most points. It's a great game. You get 5 different pictures that were taken on the street level, Google Street level, and you have to figure out, using clues like the landscape and the vegetation and signage and things like that to figure out where in the world this picture is located. And so you put a little pin on the map where you think it is, and then you submit it, and then it'll give you points based on how close you actually are to that location. So for each round, there's 5 pictures. And so the global Reinhard Marx over in Germany and Janet Barnstable came up with the idea that they could turn this into a project for classes to participate in. And so, again, if you visit the wiki page, and you will see that, you know, what the guidelines are. And they're doing different rounds, and you can participate in them at different times. And then as you participate, Janet will issue certificates and that kind of thing. So it's a fun way to get your kids engaged in really digging into Google Maps and using that tool. And there's the link. Any other? Okay. Oh, and then we're at Mystery Location and Mystery Skype. Mystery Skype came up a couple of years ago. It was something that you know, people just really latched onto because it's just such an engaging way to teach geography to your students. We switched the name to Mystery Location because a lot of people are going to Google Hangouts and other video conferencing platforms. So it's not just Skype, but Skype's sort of becoming like the Xerox of the web world. So we just kind of refer to Skype as any type of video conferencing, but really you can use anything. So it's just a way for classes to connect, and they try to guess the different locations. We started this project last year, and again, it was another collaborative project between the Global Virtual Classroom and Hello Little Skypers. And if you go to the page and go right about to the middle, there's a link that says Find a Classroom, and there's a Google spreadsheet of just about 200 classrooms. There might be 200 on there now, and they're sorted by time zone and continent. So then that way you can find a classroom anywhere in the world if you're interested that you can reach out to. There's Twitter handles, and I think there's also Skype handles on there and email addresses. So you can find anybody, anytime you're looking for somebody, you can just go and kind of look and see. So it's a great resource, and just, you know, a really fun thing to participate in. And on the page there's also guidelines and sample questions and ways to break up into teams and sort of organize and manage the whole thing. Anything else? Any other questions on that?
There was one question about sorting by grade levels.
You know what I have found is that you can mystery Skype or do mystery location with any grade level. You really don't need to stick with your own grade level. Wednesday, my class mystery Skyped with a group of 4th graders, and they, my kids learned from them. They were asking questions about regions, so we were learning about the regions in the United States. The other day, we Skyped with another class, and they asked us if we were close to the Great Lakes. So that kind of opened up a conversation about the Great Lakes. It was early in the year, so we hadn't gotten to that. We're talking about where the Great Lakes were, so that was good. So it doesn't, to me, it doesn't really matter. One time my kids Skyped with Ann Merchant's ninth graders. So it's not necessarily needs to be limited to by age level. Kindergarten would need a lot of guidance, and I give mine a lot of guidance too. I help them keep track of the questions, and I help them sort of, you know, keep track of the map. The younger they are, they're going to need more guidance, and then as they get older, you're going to expect more independence, and that's where you're going to break them up into teams and have them doing a lot of the work on their own. But for the younger ones, you're going to guide them through it. Anything else? I like that 2nd graders taught my 3rd and 5th graders a thing or two yesterday. Yeah, 2nd graders rule. All right, back to you, Michael.
Thanks, Louise. It's actually quite interesting, the mystery Skype, mystery location calls. I've done one or two. I still remember Linlian students hiding under the desk on one occasion. That was some time ago. Okay. Next one, I believe, is Teresa. Is Teresa hanging around? Yes, she is. All right, Teresa, over to you.
Thanks, Michael. This year, I'm launching the Global Olympic Hero Project. I've launched the Global Hero Project in the past, but we were talking, I'm not sure in what Skype group, and we thought with the Olympics coming up, it would be a good idea to start a Global Olympic Hero Project instead. And we want to find Olympic heroes in the past that have hero qualities, that possess, qualities of a hero. And going to use a voice thread to narrate the image. And I think when this compiles, I think this is going to be a really wonderful compilation of influential people in our world. There's a survey and a results list, and then we're just going to share. So thank you for putting that up, Louise. So I hope that we could get, and this is many age groups. We just have to kind of watch the results list so we don't double up on heroes. But if we do, well, we do. I mean, it's not going to be a big deal. It'll probably be, they might find something different. So about the hero, So it's not like, they worked really hard to become a hero. Yes, or Olympic athlete. It's what they did behind the scenes, I think, is what we wanted to kind of find with the project. So hope you can join this year. And it just started this month, so my students will be going in a couple weeks and finding their heroes. And I'm working with 6th graders with this one this year. So thanks, Michael.
Thanks, Teresa. I'm looking forward to seeing how this one goes, particularly with the Winter Olympics coming up in Russia. Okay. The next project comes from Zoe in Canada. Zoe is hopefully coming to the repeat webinar on Sunday morning, my time, Saturday night, everybody else. This is an exciting project exploring the use of Instagram as a means of exploring similarities and differences in local communities around the world. It's one that we're quite excited to have this project as a global classroom project, because it means that we're starting to explore some of the new social media tools and start to raise awareness of their potential uses in education. I know Instagram is still a relatively new tool in classrooms in Australia, for example, and I would love nothing more than to see it used as a responsible, engaging means of exploring and connecting globally. So this is one we're going to watch with great interest over the coming year. Yeah, I agree. Many educators are using Instagram. I'm still learning. Just see me for 1 second. Okay. Oh, Govinda's back. Hi, Govinda. Okay. This is the Global Mock Newbury project from Deb. I believe Deb is in Canada. I've forgotten to put her Twitter ID, so if someone has the link from the Global Classroom Wiki, that would be greatly appreciated. This is a global novel study, or book study, and I believe that's starting shortly. And that one is, I'm actually going to look for another one that we're going to watch with interest. We're starting to find people bringing in projects which are easier to integrate into the curriculum, and that's something that we're quite keen to encourage and develop. Okay, I think Tina may or may not be here. Oh, Tina's here. Okay, your turn, Tina.
Okay, thank you, Michael. The Edmodo Pen Pal Project comes from the old-time notion of writing a pen pal letter and mailing it to another classroom. Edmodo is a social learning network, so instead of having to mail letters to learn about each other, the students can connect in the closed social learning environment of Edmodo. So I put about 3 or 4 classrooms together, try to get an international flavor in there of age-related students into groups on Edmodo, and they connect and they just have discussions and learn to ask and answer questions and appreciate the similarities and differences between themselves and others. I always find they're very eye-opening to see the similarities. They always expect so many differences and appreciate the similarities as well. I'm currently in the process of trying to revamp this project a little bit so that we can have a more structure to it. In the past, I put the classrooms together and let them go on their own, but I'd like to provide a little bit more structure and possibly include some images so that we can see the different places. So I'm working on that now, hoping to have sign-ups in January so a new round can start sometime in February once our Australian friends come back from summer vacation. All right, thank you. Back over to Michael.
Thanks, Tina. I've always loved the Edmodo Pen Pals ever since I dropped in and saw kids discussing going to the dentist from memory. It's exciting to hear that's continuing to evolve because it's a fascinating project which I'm still hoping of getting some West Aussies involved in. If not the start of next year, maybe by the end of next year, I'm hoping. Okay, Donna, this is yours.
Hi everybody, this is a goal that Lisa Parisi and I we haven't even started yet, so if anyone's still interested, you certainly can join. It is based on data, and the reason we started it with data, I did this project last year, was to kind of work with the language issue. I had a couple classes I was working with that did not speak English very well, so this was a way that we could connect. We're going to collect data from a number of different things that go on, the weather, the temperature, the amount of sunlight, even geographical data on population and that sort of thing, and we're going to graph and chart and compare. And then in the meanwhile, we're going to share cultural information as well. We're going to talk about animals and plants in our regions, and then we can go back to latitude and longitude and sunlight and kind of compare how that's working. And we are 5th grade, Lisa and I are 5th grade, but we're kind of, around that area, 3 to 6 or 7. So I will put the link in the chat as soon as I'm done talking, and we're excited to get going. And I think we're probably going to start after the winter break, which would be about January.
Thanks, Donna. We're really looking forward to having Lisa and yourself running a project with us this year. Very excited. Okay, now I believe Katie Ann is with us for the next one. I'm pretty sure this is Katie Ann's project. If she's not here, we can come back to her. Okay. She's here, but whether she's listening is the question. I'll drop the mic, Katie, and if you're there, can you just pick up the mic? Thanks. Alright, we might wait for her to come back, and then we'll come back to that one. Okay. We've just had 2 literacy projects added in the last couple of days by a grade 1 teacher in the United States, Dorothy Suskant. I'm not sure how to pronounce the name. The Global Writing Workshop is a collaborative writing project for K-8 from memory. This is actually similar to a project we ran in 2011-12. That was Carl Dunbar's, she'll remember the name of it. It was a global writing project as well. It encourages the kids to post their writing and then give thoughtful feedback for editing and authentic voices. Thank you, Carl. So this one is a great project which can be easily integrated into teachers' curriculum. And it's, as I mentioned earlier, it's fantastic that we're actually our projects are now starting to become more integratable rather than add-ons to the curriculum. It's been a very long, multi-year journey towards that, but we are starting to get there. And the second of her projects is the Global Wanderings Project, which I think is for early years. I'm not entirely sure. And that's basically an opportunity for students to respond to weekly questions about everyday life and questions that they wonder about. And this for K-12. Thanks, Louise. So this one's just a simple project, but with great potential, and we look forward to seeing how it grows and develops over the coming year. And a big hello to Virginia from in Australia, who's dropped in. Hi, Virginia. Okay, Emma is fast asleep at the moment, but she's coming to the webinar on Sunday morning. That's Australia and New Zealand time. The Flickathon Collaborative Movie Making Challenge has been an extremely popular and very exciting project that we've recently become involved with. This is a project which basically involves a group of 3 classes, and each class is responsible for creating a specific part of a movie. So one class creates the visual images, one class creates the audio, one class creates the music soundtrack, and they have to basically the three classes will each create their own clip, which are then passed around. The new Flickathon project starts in early 2014, and teachers are strongly encouraged to sign up as soon as possible. This is an extremely popular project. When we put it on the Global Classroom blog, we had an absolutely extraordinary response to this one, and it's one that I'd love to do with my own students one day when I eventually get my own class. Okay, if KTN drops back in, we'll go back, but we're going to give teachers an opportunity to share their stories. Now, there's a number of people in the room who have stories to share. Some of them submitted slides, some of them are going to we'll give you the opportunity to talk at the end. Global Classroom exists because of the stories that we share. I'm a firm believer in the power of stories to inspire, to engage, and to encourage teachers to explore the possibilities of breaking down their classroom walls, and that's what these webinars have always been about. Okay, so we're going to hand over to Maria, who I believe is floating, or she dropped out. No, she's here. Okay, Maria,
hello.
All yours.
Hello, good morning, everyone. I'd like to thank, first of all, Michael, because if it weren't for him, I wouldn't have been able to enjoy the benefits of being collaborating with teachers around the world. And he exercised this magic of coming to you in a humble way as a friend. Actually, I felt he makes people feel comfortable from the first minute you see him. It started with Twitter. I came into contact with him, and he introduced me to the Hello Little World teacher Skypers and to the global community, and he invited to moderate a tweet chat. I didn't have an idea what it was about, but there was someone who helped me. She is from New Zealand. Her name is she was wonderful because she, as the same as Michael, she helped me to do things in a relaxed way, and I helped. In this way, I try to give things back. I was isolated before, and now I felt I was not alone. And well, I hope to continue learning and contributing and enjoy myself with the rest of the crowd.
Thanks, Maria. It's been fascinating watching you explore, particularly the use of Skype over the past couple of months. We're really proud to be working with you. And as a passionate photographer, I actually quite enjoy having someone to talk to about photography as well. So thank you. Okay, Karen, hopefully your microphone is working. All yours.
Thanks, Michael. Can you hear me, everyone? That's good. Yes, I have a story to tell, and what a story it is. Coming up on the 7th of December, it will be 1 year ago that I launched this wonderful project, the Traveling Rhinos Project, and what a year it has been. I went and had a look, and I counted how many classrooms have been visited, and then I looked at the Google tracking map, and as you can see there, these 5 rhinos have been crisscrossing the globe, backwards, forwards, and they have visited the most amazing classrooms, met the most amazing people, and I really wish I could have traveled with some of them. So yes, it indeed has been a most amazing year, and many of the teachers that are in this room with us at the moment have participated this year, and I'm really grateful to them and for the impact that they have made on me, and for the fact that they took part with their classes, because it has been amazing. So these 5 rhinos have visited Australia, New Zealand, the USA, Canada, Central America, England and Ireland, South Africa, and then Singapore and East Asia as well. It has been the most amazing thing for me. It's made an impact on my life, and to see what the teachers have turned this project into, it hasn't just been a brief involvement. Some of them, and most of them in fact, have gone so much deeper than I had initially anticipated, and it really has been fantastic. So far 48 schools have been visited, and each rhino has stopped an average of 10 times. So we are looking at a minimum of 1,200 students that have been touched by this project. Obviously it's a lot more than that, but it's difficult to count. So that's the minimum, yes, and it is incredible. It's amazing. These teachers and their classes have created videos, they've done artwork, they've written newspaper articles, or they have been interviewed by newspapers, and they have got this whole poaching issue into the news and created an amazing awareness. They've also, some of them have held fundraising events that the children, the students have initiated, and they have sent those money to rhino initiatives around the world, and many to South Africa as well. It has been beyond unbelievable, totally incredible. Many of the teachers have used the project for project-based or problem-based learning, which is incredible. That wasn't my initial plan. But the fact that it has been used for that, because it's a real-world problem, is amazing. And it obviously showed that the teachers looked into this more detail than I did initially. And something that Lisa Parisi said in the launch, the Global Classroom Project launch webinar, celebration, stuck with me, because she said, and I'm going to speak because I think I'm in a similar age group, she said, my generation has made such a mess of the world as we know it today. It is my duty to create awareness for my students so that our students don't repeat our mistakes in the future. How amazing is that, to have come out of this project? I feel blessed by what has happened, and I'm really proud of what has been achieved. The project will run at least until June next year, but probably until December next year, and longer if need be, if I have the energy for it, because I have to be honest, looking after 5 rhinos is like looking after 5 extra children. So I keep having to check upon them, and some of them go missing for a while, and it's been quite challenging. But to those of you that are in the room today, I want to say huge thank you for what you've done, for what you've contributed to, and here's to the future and beyond. You know, the traveling rhinos travel for a long time still. Thanks, Michael.
Thanks, Karen. I know what it's like to have 5 extra children. I feel that way about the Global Classroom scrapbooks, which I believe Anne Merchant, if she's actually listening in the background there, still has one. And I would love to know when it's moving. The other one is currently in Ireland, and there's one in my bookcase behind me. It's been another little amazing project. The Travelling Rhinos project is probably the best global classroom project, or certainly the one with the greatest global impact that we've ever been involved with. Oh, good. Thank you, Anne. I was wondering. It's the fact that students in New York, they created a quilt, and they've raised about several hundred, if not $1,000, for rhino conservation. That was Lisa Parisi's class. You've got students in, there's students in Arizona who are creating Save the Rhinos movies. It's a project which has certainly exceeded all of our expectations, and one that we're very proud to be associated with. Okay, I've just lost my slide going forward. Where have I put it? Here we go. Okay. Louise, back to you.
Okay, so one of the projects that we have on the Global Classroom Project is the Flat Mascot and Flat Friend Exchange Project. And so there was a teacher in Australia who contacted me and asked me if they could send me a flat friend, and so I said sure. We did not send to them one. We did an exchange. We just received it, but we had so much fun with this little friend that arrived in the mail, and she arrived with a book all about Australia, and she we learned all about Australia from this book, and she hung on our map, and it was just lots of fun to learn about that. She went with us on a field trip, and anyway, it was just fun. So what we did was, it was also at the time at the beginning of the year when we spent a lot of time learning about our state in Texas and the United States. So it worked perfectly because we ended up making a nice little book about Texas and putting it all together, and then we sent that back to Australia with the Flat Friend. And then we also made a digital version of that book on a VoiceThread. So anyway, it was just a great way to learn about a different place by having this little cardboard thing in our room. Here's the link to the mascot exchange program project. And then on my blog, I also my classroom blog, I also did a post, and I made a little video from some of the photos that we had taken, and also there's a link to the voice thread. So, and it's a Flash Charlotte. There we go. And then we also participated in the Traveling Rhinos project, and our rhino, I signed up over a year ago thinking, oh, this will be so great. Well, the rhino Syanda showed up in the midst of the Global Read Aloud, in the midst of us doing this Flat Charlotte, Dot Day International, and so I had all of these things going in my classroom, which I swore I would not let happen. I said I'm not going to get myself overloaded, but when this rhino came, I took time to, we spent about a week on it, and what we did was we just visited the Traveling Rhino Wiki, and just looked at all of the other projects that had been created by all of the other schools who had gotten rhinos. So we learned from all of these other students around the world about this situation with the rhinos being poached, and we learned why they were being poached, and then we learned all about the rhinos. And so we just took kind of a low-tech approach. We did some beautiful artwork, you know, just the silhouettes and with the watercolor, and then we just made some nice note cards, and so it's on display in my classroom, and I have a feeling I'm not going to be able to take it down at all. I think it's going to be one of those things that's going to end up staying in our classroom probably for the whole year because it's so beautiful, and the kids, it's just, and it's one of those projects that just it inspired, you know, empathy. They were, you know, the kids were really passionate, and they got kind of angry. They got, you know, they got kind of fired up about, you know, learning about this. And it was also a great way too because we were doing the global read aloud, and we were reading Marty McGuire, and in Marty McGuire, she really looks up to Jane Goodall. So it was a great way to sort of tie a lot of things together. We also learned about Jane Goodall and her work with the chimpanzees because chimpanzees are being poached, and so it was just, you know, it was just a really good tie-in. And just anyway,
thanks,
yeah, there's the blog post for
with conscious of time. We've got Lin Lin from Taiwan
so back to you,
who's going to talk next, and then we will just go to our sort of open mic closing reflections.
Hi, friends. Can you hear my voice? Hello? Hello, hello. Hi. Oh, okay. And then today is about a week ahead of Thanksgiving, so I have to thank all the teachers here who have been helping me out in the classroom to join the project in the classroom, such as Miss Sherry Skype, and thanks for Luis. And I have been also in Malala Project and other projects in our global classroom. Besides, I also attended to other projects. Well, in Taiwan, there are so few teachers to join such projects, which can enable students to explore learning experiences. And I'm so lucky and honored to be here again another year, and hope it will last for a long, long time. Okay.
Thanks, Lin Lin. It's always great to hear your voice. Okay, what we're going to do is we've got about 5 minutes left, so we're going to open up the mic for feedback and reflections. You're most welcome to write on this slide. Well, yeah, KDN, we'll just quickly try and squeeze KDN in. KDN, if you just take a minute, okay? Just hand over to you, and then we'll go into final reflections. We've got time. Alright, I'm not sure if KDN has a mic, but basically this is a global digital scrapbook project which is similar to Global Classroom scrapbooks, but it's going to take place in Edmodo, which we are very much looking forward to seeing how this one grows and develops. Alright. Okay, final reflections, and I know some people have got to go to the next session. Sorry, KDN. We'll try and get you in on the Saturday night one. Okay, so if anyone wants to talk, please put your hand up. That makes our life a bit easier, and then we'll go in that order. With those people who need to go, thank you for coming, and we'll see you in the next session.
Michael, I just wanted to say that taking into account the amazing growth that this community has achieved so far, I can't wait to see what the future has in store. And there's a huge example of how much you can achieve by working together, but joining forces of humble contributions maybe, but they mean a lot when you pair up people who are looking to achieve a common goal, right? And so congratulations to you and all the amazing people who have put up these wonderful projects. Your students are lucky.
Yeah, I wish I could actually do what I do with my own students. Unfortunately, I'm not in a position to do so. So at the moment, it's just everybody else's students who benefit. Okay, I'm going to leave the slide up. I'm going to stop the recording. Thank you everybody for coming. I highly recommend the Hello Little World Skype session, which is just starting. That's where I'm heading next. And if you'd like to leave comments on the slide, that would be greatly appreciated. I'll leave this room open for a couple of minutes if anyone wants to talk and write something on the slides. Thank you.